can!
It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So a good performance on both.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Firstpost here with me, Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. Well, on the show today, India face yet another humiliating loss at Melbourne. This is in the Border-Gavaskar Trophy. As pressure mounts on the senior-most hands in the squad, Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma. The captain, in fact, was mocked by the Australian media as talks of retirement now is gaining some momentum. Have the youngsters shown more grit and merit than the veterans? Over in chess, Magnus Carlsen kicks up a storm after walking out of the Rapid and Blitz tournament when Fide fined him for a dress code violation. But he returned within a day. Fide showing it is spineless, or is the dress code rule now way past its sell-by date? And as the year draws to a close, we bring you a look back at the year that was for India. What is the sport that has defined India's growth in 2024? That and a special interview heading your way. But first, let's take a look at the headlines in Sports 360. Starting with cricket, South Africa became the first team to qualify for the World Test Championship final next year. The Proteas secured that spot after beating Pakistan by 2 wickets in the first of the 2-match Test series. Aiden Markram was the player of the match, but that partnership between Kagiso Rabada and Marco Jansen took the Proteas across the line in what was a nail-biting finish. Meanwhile, India's star pacer Jasprit Bumrah has been nominated for the ICC Men's Test Cricketer of the Year award. The pacer has taken over 70 wickets in 13 Test matches this year. Arshdeep Singh has been nominated for the T20 International Cricketer of the Year. The pacer emerged as the joint highest wicket taker at the T20 World Cup. In the women's category, opener Smriti Mandhana has been shortlisted for the Women's ODI Cricketer of the Year. She accumulated a total of 743 runs across 12 innings this year in this format. Over in football, Manchester City secured a long-awaited win at the Premier League. They beat Leicester City 2-0 after a 4-match winless streak. City took the lead through Savinho in the 21st minute. Erling Haaland headed City's second goal to seal the win. This is Manchester City's first win in the last 6 games. Alexei Bugaev, ex-Russian football player, was killed in the Ukraine war. The 43-year-old had played for Russia at the Euros 2004. Due to the intense fighting, his remains couldn't be retrieved for the last rites. Bugaev was arrested in September on drug trafficking charges. Following his sentencing, he opted to serve in the Russian army. And Conor McGregor has reportedly confirmed his $250 million mega fight with social media sensation-turned-boxer Logan Paul, which will take place in India's Wankhede Stadium, that's in the Indian city of Mumbai. McGregor hasn't competed professionally since 2021 when he suffered a leg injury during his loss to Dustin Poirier. It has been a manic, dramatic and chaotic boxing test between India and Australia. The visitors will head to Sydney, though, staring at a 1-2 deficit. And the test has produced some questions and criticisms more than answers for Indian cricket. At the heart of it all is the age-old debate, youngsters versus the seniors. That's happened over the course of the 5 days. Youngsters seem to have stepped up to the Aussie onslaught. Well, all youngsters, but Jasprit Bumrah, he's absolutely been brilliant in this entire series. There were some sparks for India. Nitish Reddy scored a memorable 100 in India's first innings that happened over the weekend. That 100 struck a chord with everyone because behind that century was the hard sacrifices of an entire family who witnessed this heroic moment from the stands. There's a reason Ravi Shastri, India's former cricketer and commentator, shed happy tears in that commentary box, unable to even speak on what clearly was India's highlight in this test. Washington Sundar, another youngster, stayed firm, playing the supporting role during that wonderful knock. Yashasvi Jaiswal, he tried to stand tall and delivered with 250s in this test, and that's where the good news for India ends. Nothing else came close to being impactful enough to bring any change and create opportunities or show some fight. There were too many bloopers in that test, dropped catches, flaring tempers, silly runouts. India only have themselves to blame to have, at the very least, missed out on a draw. And the seniors have come under fire for what continues to be a horrid series for them in particular. We'll start at the top with Rohit Sharma. The captain came under heavy criticism for his captaincy as well as his batting. The Aussies in particular have been harsh, and that's an understatement. We'll start with the Aussie media. They seem to be stooping down to some very crass reportage. There are some serious question marks being raised over Rohit's future. The sharpest critique coming from the Australian commentators.
If I was a selector now, I'd be saying, Rohit, thank you for your service. You've been a great player, but we're going to bring in Jasprit Bumrah as captain for the SCG, and that's the end of your career. I think they've given him that leniency already because he's been a great player for India. At some stage, that leniency has got to stop, and it stops after this test match.
I wasn't in favour of Team India's decision to drop Shubman Gill and pick Washington Sundar for the 4th test. It's beyond my comprehension. And why did you demote your most consistent batter KL Rahul? Rohit should have come at number 3 himself. These questions will certainly be raised. Next innings will decide Rohit Sharma's test future.
The Indian media and the internet has also gone crazy with the memes and the comments coming in thick and fast calling for Rohit Sharma's retirement. Indian selectors will definitely be keen to have that honest conversation with Rohit Sharma just to see where things stand at this point, where the vision is. In fact, Rohit himself, right at that press conference after this defeat, seemed quite circumspect and disappointed with himself.
As a captain, yes, that is disappointing. Yes, as a batter as well. A lot of things that I'm trying to do are not falling into place. But mentally it's disturbing without a doubt. There are things that we as a team need to look at, and I personally need to look at as well. There's a game to go.
And the contrast is just so stark because captains lead by example. On the other side, you had someone like Pat Cummins who'd attest to this. He did that in this test with both ball and bat. Those runs that the lower half of their batting lineup made in that second innings was so crucial. Something India just couldn't do while chasing. Next up in the firing line is Virat Kohli. Sure, his energy, his exuberance is infectious. It sometimes really lifts the team up, but did that run-in with teenager Sam Konstas at the start really backfire? Did that create that added pressure on Kohli to fire and score, make those big runs? Because he ended up failing to score big in both the innings. Was involved in an unnecessary mix-up with Yashasvi Jaiswal, causing a collapse thereafter. Was the pressure of the intense situation all a bit too much? Because contrastingly, the youngster, Sam Konstas, in fact, youngsters really ruling the roost at Melbourne, soaked it all up and had a field day throughout the test. Misery loves company, and the last 2 days proved to be an example of that for India. Rishabh Pant came under flack for the kind of shots he opted to play in both the innings, earning the anger of Sunil Gavaskar, particularly for what happened in that first innings.
Stupid, stupid, stupid. That is throwing away your wicket, not in the situation that India was in. You have to understand the situation well. You cannot say that is your natural game. That is a stupid shot. That is letting down your team badly. He should not be going in that dressing room. He should be going to the other dressing room.
And chasing a mammoth 300-plus target on day 5, facing a very clinical bowling, was never going to be easy. Jaiswal, of course, stood his ground for a while. He top scored, but really no solid support coming from the other end at all. Rishabh Pant looked good only to give it away again. Rohit Sharma post the match, in fact, saying that he has mixed reactions on the way Rishabh Pant got out and that he needs to realize himself what is required of him at various situations. That only speaks about how deflated that dressing room will be looking right about now. This loss in MCG ought to hurt. India will be dejected. They will want to answer some of those questions before they take that field in Sydney. Drastic changes is not good no matter the scenario, no matter the situation. It only rattles the ship more than steadies it. Having said that, fortune only favours the brave. Will India make some bold choices for Sydney? Rohit Sharma ended the press conference saying they do not make personal decisions. Decisions are made thinking of the team's goals and not that of individuals. Will that thought see more truth come Sydney? Men's world number 1 and chess icon Magnus Carlsen isn't just taking on opponents on the chessboard but is now in a full-on collision mode with chess's governing body FIDE. Carlsen walked out of the World Rapid and Blitz Championship over the weekend after FIDE slapped him with a dress code violation. And although the world number 1 has now decided to return for the Blitz event, the controversy is far from over. So what exactly happened? It all started with Carlsen receiving a $200 fine for wearing jeans in round 8 of the rapid event. Reason? FIDE's dress code forbids players from wearing denims. Carlsen was then given an ultimatum to change his attire before round 9, which led to a massive disagreement between the two and the Norwegian walking off in a huff. Carlsen even took a cheeky dig at FIDE by posting his outfit of the day on social media. And the world number 1 did not hold back his words while expressing his disgruntlement at the episode.
I said I'll change tomorrow, but they said you have to change now, and it became a matter of principle for me. Honestly, I'm too old at this point to care too much. They can enforce their rules. And my response is that fine, then I'm out. Like you. I don't think anything more has to be said.
That response says it all. Carlsen clearly indicating FIDE and chess need him more than he needs them. Full stop. But unfortunately, the matter did not reach a full stop with his seeming U-turn. Some of the top voices the world over backed Carlsen and took a jibe at FIDE for their rules. A world number 1 and defending champion at that, giving up on his title and walking away was bound to draw all these reactions. But this incident has only led to more questions being asked and has created more unrest than before. Now, Carlsen was able to get up and leave, stage a dramatic exit only to be coaxed back to play because, well, he's Carlsen. He did not get docked for taking on the governing body head-on. He even spoke out against them. But can anyone else afford to do that without facing repercussions? World number 8, Ian Nepomniachtchi, was fined for wearing sports shoes, and while Carlsen decided to go rogue with FIDE, Nepomniachtchi quietly changed his attire and continued the tournament. Popular streamer and Dutch chess player Anna Maya Kazarian was fined €100 for wearing sneakers in the last edition of the World Rapid and Blitz tournament. And this year, FIDE went a step ahead by formally banning sneakers, which led to immense criticism from Kazarian. FIDE clearly has a history of being a tad too rigid with their rules, which haven't really gone down too well with the players.
It really is comical to me that FIDE tries to enforce this dress code. They think they're living in a world where they think it's the 1970s. People are here to watch chess. They're not here to follow this nonsense. There is not a single person who won't watch because Magnus is playing in jeans or in his underwear or speedos.
Struck the nail on the head, did Nakamura there. Do dress codes really matter when it's a battle of the minds, when it's a battle of wits? Does it matter what the players are actually wearing as long as it's neat and tidy? Is chess and their governing body living in the past? These are some of the questions players are asking and failing to move ahead with the times even as the game has grown and progressed. Drawing more youngsters now, that's where chess is. How do they expect to appeal to a younger audience if they continue to go with stringent dress code rules like no sneakers and no denims, things that are wardrobe staples for the younger lot? And now FIDE and the player who is the face of chess, Carlsen, are at loggerheads, a player known for his flamboyance, a player who made chess cool, and one who even after returning refused to adhere to the rules.
I'll be playing at least one more day here in New York. If I do well, another day after that. I want to give the fans the chance to see me play it. It could be the last time, who knows. As a principal, I will definitely play in jeans tomorrow.
And because of that, that's one of the reasons why FIDE is now second-guessing whether they handled the whole Carlsen situation right.
The withdrawal of Magnus Carlsen, who has played an exceptional role in elevating the sport of chess to the new heights, was an extremely unfortunate consequence of this disconnect. I sincerely regret that this situation escalated without a resolution being found.
FIDE clearly trying to make amends, indicating one thing very clearly. They believe they went too far in ruffling Carlsen's feathers and have revealed how much the sport and its governing body really needs this superstar. The sporting body has now relaxed the rules, stating that appropriate jeans matching the jacket can be allowed, but they continue to adhere that the dress code regulations should be obeyed. The biggest question, though, if Carlsen continues to wear what he feels comfortable in, what will FIDE be forced to do then? Continue to force others to abide by this and show their bias, or in this case, their lack of spine? Or admit they are still being a tad redundant with their rules and lift their dress code restrictions altogether to embrace chess as it evolves? Either ways, it's FIDE's turn to self-reflect. Pity it had to come at the cost of a standoff between them and chess's world number one. 2024, a year that had its own share of highs and lows, a year where uncertainties controlled the narrative on the global landscape, a world grappling with wars and multiple armed conflicts, be it West Asia, the Russia-Ukraine conflict, violence in the African nations and unrest in the subcontinent. The only factor uniting people in these testing times has been sport, a discipline that gave joy in times of political turmoil and chaos. We look back at India's year in sports. 2024 was a rewarding year for a nation obsessed with cricket. The heartbreak of the 2023 ODI World Cup was erased when India emerged victorious in the T20 World Cup. It was quite an emotional ride, that, and while the T20 World Cup glory was a major talking point, it wasn't the only success India had. The country found its feet in other sporting disciplines as well. The Olympic year saw some heroes tasting success. India's backbone, hockey goalkeeper PR Srijesh, helped India win bronze at the Paris Olympics before calling it quits. Neeraj Chopra may have failed to defend his gold, but he stayed the course for a silver. But the real star to emerge from Paris Games was Manu Bakar. The youngster, the shooting sensation, first won an individual bronze in the 10-meter air pistol event, then paired up with Sarabjot Singh to clinch her second bronze in the edition. Only the first Indian to win double medals at a single Games. Ending her own heartbreak, from Tokyo.
Won the medal, like the first medal. So I realized that, people are always going to refer to me as an Olympic medalist.
Yes.
So it's going down definitely with my profile and everything. And I'll always be known like this, that, Manu Bhaker, the Olympic medalist. So that one thing really, really affect, like, it put lot of change in me. It just feels like, okay, I am one of those people now, like one of very few people who have made it to this podium, and it's very, very special to me.
The Paralympians too showed great spirit to give India glory, be it javelin thrower Sumit Antil, shooter Avani Lakhara, badminton ace Nitish Kumar, archer Harvinder Singh. That's just to name a few. They scripted a golden journey. It wasn't just the gold medalists who defined India's sporting rise here. Athletes like Preeti Pal, Deepti Javanji, Pranav Surma and youngsters like Sheetal Devi proved India's surge in the sporting world. They proved impossible is nothing, and it was their belief system that really defined India's sporting culture.
मेरे को कभी ऐसा एहसास नहीं हुआ कि मेरे हाथ नहीं है तो मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकती. जो मैं काम करती थी तो मैं वो अच्छे से कर लेती थी, तो ऐसा कभी एहसास ही नहीं हुआ.
Over in tennis too, India's Rohan Bopanna won the Australian Open, his first Grand Slam title in the doubles category, following which Bopanna became the oldest man to reach world #1 in tennis doubles rankings. And while these stories really added to India's glorious sporting calendar, there was one sport that really defined India this year, a sport India had invented only to lose its way in and has now reclaimed by the golden generation. The year, of course, kicked off with Vaishali Ramesh Babu clinching the Arjuna Award. In fact, she was just carrying forward the laurel that her brother, chess prodigy Pragyananda, had brought to the country the previous year.
Pandemic has helped chess grow much more. Now there are bigger audience, like with Queen's Gambit, also this streaming things, and as helped the chess boom. And now we see that people actually recognize chess and recognize chess player also. So it's a very good thing as a chess player to see.
And a young teenager carried forward the baton when he took on the biggest names in the world. Gukesh Domaraju established India's dominance in the chess world by becoming the candidates winner, battling financial woes and overcoming many challenges. Gukesh scripted something special.
Father almost quit his practice totally. Both being doctors, that's difficult decision to make. And my mother, has to stay away from me whenever we travel. And, but she always manages to provide me emotional support. And other than this, few years back, we also had a lot of financial problems, and it was even hard to travel for tournaments, but my parents made sure that it didn't affect me, and they took all the burden of it and pulled through.
And it didn't stop there. Joining him were a bunch of youngsters and experienced campaigners. Arjun Erigesi reached the 2,800 rating points and became India's highest-ranked chess player. Pragyananda continued his impressive run after this World Cup finish last year. Vidit Gujarati played a pivotal role through the year, and Hari Krishna Pentala, of course, brought in his experience as India's rise in chess became a collective effort. And the performances through the year were capped off with that chess Olympiad gold.
Come on! India! India!
As you saw in those pictures, it wasn't just the men who dominated. The women won a historic gold to make it a brilliant double. Harika Dronavalli, Vaishali Ramesh Babu, Divya Deshmukh, Vantika Agarwal and Tanya Sachdev starred in that win. And just days before the year, of course, has come to a close, India's ace, Koneru Hampi, won her second Women's World Rapid title. A special win to cap off what's been a brilliant year for the women.
It's great in the last few years what we are doing in chess, and I'm sure it just can only get better. And yeah, we are going right there. I must say, all over the world, people are very scared of us. Yeah, our Indian juniors are doing extremely well. We had Gukesh, winning the candidates, and Prag did amazingly well in Norway. He beat both world number 1 and 2 in classical games, which is too good, I would say. Yeah, no, not just these two, but also so many other youngsters are getting stronger, and in so many other tournaments around the world.
And these young sensations weren't scared to take on anyone. They had the skills to show their command on a chessboard, and of course the passion and fearless attitude to shine on the biggest stage.
We have a fantastic group of youngsters, but it's also great what they're doing. It's an immensely talented generation. I've often referred to them as the golden generation. And I think they've come at the right moment. The coaches were there, the academies were there, the system was there. And yeah, one of them has broken through.
The Olympiad really brought the world to start looking at India as a genuine threat. The path that Vishwanathan Anand had walked on was suddenly populated by so many talented players waiting to prove a point. Fearless warriors who were determined to take up the charge. Players who had each other's backs and who realized the true potential that rested with India.
Olympiad, I think for India, it did a lot of things because the people's perspective towards our nation changed because of the win. Many people in the years were speaking, oh, India is an emerging superpower, in chess, like they are the next big things. And that question was answered that no, they are not the next big thing. They are the thing now. They are the dominant players in this sport.
And while the Olympiad cemented India as giants in the chess world, it needed one more major highlight to really put the spotlight on India and make the world acknowledge them as superpowers. And that happened when Gukesh humbled China's Ding Lijian to clinch the World Championship, being the youngest to do so and getting the title back home to India. Gukesh's win wasn't just celebrated by his family and his near and dear ones. The youngster became the face of India's dominance in the sport with the feat that he achieved, earning praise from every possible quarter. Chess inarguably has emerged the sport of the year for India. But the best part, this is just the beginning of what is to follow. There was this video that we all have seen, of course, you're aware of it, of a very young Gukesh answering a question saying your biggest dream is to become the youngest world chess champion. Was this something that you manifested, or is it something that you thought of at that point and didn't really think it would happen?
I think like right from the start, I got inspired by watching this Vishy versus Magnus match in 13 in Chennai, and I thought at that time, once the title was once Magnus won the title, I thought it would be cool to bring back the title to India. And this youngest world champion, I don't exactly remember how I got this dream, but I think I was so young that it was always I was so young that I did really believe that it could be possible, and I think for this dream has been like the driving factor behind mine and a lot of important people in my life's efforts to reach here. So yeah, I think this it's just a kid's dream which really pushed us all through.
What are your thoughts like when you look at what next or your goal next? Where do you see yourself from this point?
Yeah, what's next for me? I think right now I'm still trying to process it. I'm trying to settle and enjoy this moment because I'm grateful for what God has given me, and I think I should enjoy it. And of course, for the next year, I will be playing a lot of tournaments, and my goal is to now become the best player in the world. It has always been the case, and I think it continues to be. And looking forward to continue. Resuming all the work and all the efforts. And, hopefully next year will be as or more enjoyable as this one.
Yes, Gukesh, because you've given us a lot of moments of joy over the last 1 year. You've put Indian chess back to where it truly belongs. But thank you so much for speaking to us. Wishing to see many more such exciting moves from you in the coming months, and looking forward to more such conversations. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. That's a lot of.
Time for last serve. BMX Olympic medalist Daniel Dares organized a collective ride in Venezuela's Caracas. Watch kids and other cyclists perform various tricks during the event. That wraps it up here on Firstpost as we continue counting down to the year that was for Sport 2024 in our replay series. But thanks for watching and staying with us. I'll see you again tomorrow.